promises made and promises kept in so many different ways, especially revolving around the horrific assassination of Charlie Kirk. The State Department said, hey, we've got at least six. The six were mentioned yesterday. Six folks that were here on visas that are going to go bye-bye. No more visas for people who said some horrible things about one Charlie Kirk. I want to play you a clip from Marco Rubio just days after Charlie's assassination, where he said, hey, we are going to do this, and he defended his reasoning behind that. Go ahead and play whatever this cut is.
Well, I think about Charlie Kirk. You're a foreigner and you're out just celebrating the assassination of someone who was speaking somewhere. I mean, we don't want you. Why would we want to give a visa to someone who thinks it's good that someone was murdered in the public square? It's just common sense to me.
Which is exactly the case. Yeah, why would we want these people in our country? They don't share the values that this country was built on. Because clearly, if you celebrate the murder of any individual, more specifically an individual as so prominent as Charlie, well, then you don't think all men are created equal, and therefore you don't share the values that are self-evident in this country, and therefore you should leave. I've said a number of times, I think more people should have gotten fired, and maybe they will. Maybe they'll face that sort of justice when it comes eventually down the line. Maybe that'll happen. But the people that said horrible things about Charlie should face consequences in the real world. And more specifically, if you're in this country because you asked to be here, yeah, we're going to go ahead and make sure you adhere to the values of the country that you so desperately want to come into. The New York Times, interestingly enough, had a different way of phrasing this. Let me read you a little bit from the New York Times article about this. Among the examples the State Department listed on Tuesday was an Argentine. I don't want to read her words. Just trust me in saying that they are horrible. Let's pull up this graphic of this lady. I'm not sure if it's a lady specifically. She's got all of the colors, but yeah, person who has all of the things in her bio. Visa goes bye-bye. She said some crazy things. She said Charlie is obviously a racist, a xenophobe, misogynistic, and deserves to burn in hell. Sorry, I didn't think I wanted to share what she specifically said, but I don't know. Now I'm angry. So yeah, bye-bye. What was also interesting too is, well, the New York Times continues to say the other examples was of a German who said that when fascists die, Democrats don't complain, which again is disgusting and horrible, and a Brazilian who posted that Mr. Kirk died too late, which again is grounds for saying goodbye, no longer welcome in this country because you don't adhere to the values of this country. I do want to pull up some of the comments that were in the comment section of that article on Facebook specifically. Go ahead and throw those on the screen if you can. I don't know who this person is, just a random person, but this really kind of summarizes the sentiment of people in the comment section. I would like to see what they call celebrating his death. Basically casting some sort of doubt of like, no, they're just kicking people out they don't want. No, all of the examples that even the New York Times given, if this doofus had just clicked the article, yeah, clearly these are celebratory posts and are grounds for getting your visa removed. Then the comment that responds there, anyone who doesn't feel the need to mourn the guy is apparently celebrating. Yeah, again, no, if you just clicked the article, dum-dum, you would have figured out that, no, these are people actually celebrating, again, the death of a person. There were also comments talking about freedom of speech, and that's fine. The Constitution allows for anybody in the country to have freedom of speech, even if they're not here as American citizens. But the obvious argument to that is, well, you don't need to be in this country, and words have consequences. If they were being charged criminally, that would be a First Amendment violation. I would be against them being charged criminally, of course, unless there's a threat, and there's obviously nuance there. But none of these people are being charged criminally with anything. So this isn't a First Amendment thing. It's an immigration thing. And if the Secretary of State and the State Department as a whole deems people by what they say to not be in alignment with what we want in the United States of America, we go back to the Marco Rubio clip of effectively saying, We don't want you here. Bye bye. So that's that. Like I said, I think more people should have gotten fired, and maybe they will. Hopefully, they will. But having free speech means that you won't be criminally prosecuted for things that you say. It doesn't mean that we have to let you in to the country that we are trying so desperately to save.